Are you ready to install this 4-hour timer with me? Let's do it. Now what I've got to do is I got to strip the sheathing off of these. Once I do that, I want to remember which one has the felt tip pin on there. You remember? Because once I pull the sheathing off, that's going to go away. Okay, I'm just going to take my sheetrock knife and what I've got to do is get back in there. And this is how I was taught, and you can do it this way. They also have a little tool that you can get to strip wire too, but you just want to reach back there as far as you can. You want to leave a little sheathing sticking out of the hole in the back, okay? Now as you're doing that, you only want to go so far, and then put your hand above there. And all you're doing is you're cutting and scoring the outside sheathing, okay? And you know what? It's not cutting very well, and I'm looking at my sheetrock knife, and I got a little broken tip, and this is a worn sheetrock blade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that blade, because you want to get a sharp one as you're scoring that, because I didn't even score it all the way through, and I don't want to go too hard because I don't want to miss and cut my hand or anything like that, okay? So make sure you use a sharp sheetrock knife. We're going to try this again now. Now, incidentally, it's always a good idea to have some extra blades in your container inside. You pull this apart and there's a little storage compartment in there where you can keep extra blades. And usually I'll take my dull ones and I'll put them in here, because then if I'm doing something where I don't need a sharp one, I save my sharp ones and then flip it over to a dull one. Okay? But when I start getting low, I always like to get a few extra sharp blades, and if I don't have any, I'll go to the hardware store and get them, because you always want to be prepared for the unexpected and be ready for your job, okay, whatever it is. Alright, let's try this again. I'm using the same amount of pressure here to score this. Get my fingers out of the way. I can kind of move my fingers down as I go, like that. And you just loosen it up there, and see right there I don't have it scored all the way, but I've got it scored enough so I can pull this and it's going to zip on out. Up here looks like I got to do it just a little bit harder, and I can do that, no problem. Once I do that, I want to push my blade back in, because I don't want to hang on to the blade and try to do this. I mean, sometimes I have a tendency of doing that, but I'm always trying to be aware of that. Okay, I can get the wires up, and now I've got this. Now I'm going to kind of hang on that and sort of pull it and stretch it a little bit. And now I can just take this and I just put a little pressure on there and saw that off, like that. Okay? Now on the wires, you got another piece of paper here that's wrapped around it. Just want to get that off like that. And now I've got another piece of paper. You can pull that off. If it doesn't come off, you can take a pair of pliers or something and pull it off that way. Get your sheetrock knife back in there, whatever. Okay, you remember this was the black one, right? We've got the masking tape there. So what I'm going to do with that right now is I'm just going to put a little loop in it. That way I can remember which one that is. Okay? And I'll do the same thing to this one after I score it. I'm going to zoom this one in a little bit more so you can kind of see what I'm doing. In there, reach in there, and score that. Get your hand up out of there. Last thing you want is to hang on to it too far, thinking, oh, I'll just wait until there, and then you come off of there and miss. Now all of a sudden you've marked your hand here, you've hit your thumb, whatever. That's the last thing I want you to do. Some people frown on using a sheetrock knife for this, but hey, I see lots of electricians do it that way. And that's, like I said, that's just how I was taught. Okay, push that up out of the way. I can hold on to this paper and I can saw that off. Okay? There. Got 3 wires out of there. That's all I'm going to do at that box for right now. Let's work on the next box.